It was a quiet night at the Deep Space Listening Post in New Mexico. The staff were going about their usual tasks, monitoring the vast emptiness of space for any signs of activity. Sarah Johnson, a young astronomer, sat at her station, sipping coffee and watching the screens with tired eyes. Suddenly, a loud beep filled the room. Sarah jumped, spilling her coffee. She quickly turned to her monitor, her eyes widening as she saw the strange signals appearing on the screen. "Guys, come look at this," she called out to her colleagues. They rushed over, crowding around her station. The signals were like nothing they had ever seen before. They were strong, clear, and definitely not natural. As the team watched in amazement, they realized they were witnessing a historic moment. The first confirmed contact from an alien civilization. Over the next few days, scientists from around the world worked tirelessly to decode the message. It was written in a complex mathematical language, but its meaning became clearer with each passing hour. What they discovered sent chills down their spines. The message was a warning. It spoke of a powerful empire that ruled much of the galaxy. This empire had set its sights on Earth, seeing it as a promising new territory to conquer. The message urged humanity to flee, to hide, to do whatever it could to avoid the coming storm. As news of the message spread, the world erupted into chaos. People panicked. Governments held emergency meetings, and conspiracy theories ran wild. Some believed the message was a hoax, while others started preparing for the end of the world. In Washington, D.C., President Emily Chen called an urgent meeting with her top advisors. They gathered in a secure room deep beneath the White House, their faces grim as they discussed the situation. "What are our options?" President Chen asked, looking around the table. General Mike Thompson, a tough old soldier with a scared face, spoke up. "We need to prepare for war, Madam President. If these aliens are coming, we can't just roll over and die." Dr. Aisha Patel, a brilliant physicist, shook her head. "But how can we fight an enemy so advanced? They've conquered much of the galaxy. We'd be like ants trying to fight humans." The room fell silent as everyone considered the hopelessness of their situation. Then, a quiet voice spoke up from the corner of the room. "Maybe we don't have to fight them head-on," said David Lee, a young tech expert from Silicon Valley. All eyes turned to him as he continued. "What if we could use their own technology against them?" As David explained his idea, a spark of hope began to grow in the room. It was a long shot, but it might just give humanity a fighting chance. Over the next few weeks, a secret team was assembled. The best scientists, engineers, and soldiers from around the world were brought together in a hidden facility deep in the Rocky Mountains. Their mission: to prepare Earth's defenses using every bit of knowledge and technology that they could muster. While the world above descended into fear and chaos, this team worked tirelessly. They studied the alien message, trying to learn as much as they could about their future enemy. They developed new weapons, improved their space technology, and came up with strategies for fighting a war unlike any humanity had ever faced. As the days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, the team made incredible progress. But would it be enough? The question hung over them like a dark cloud, driving them to work harder, to push the limits of what was possible. Then, one day, as the team was running a test on their new defense systems, alarms began to blare throughout the facility. Everyone froze, looking at each other with wide eyes. They all knew what it meant. Dr. Patel's voice came over the speakers, shaky but determined. "Multiple objects detected entering the solar system. It's them. They're here." The Galactic Empire had arrived, and humanity's greatest test was about to begin. As fear gripped the hearts of people around the world, the secret team in the mountains steeled themselves for the fight ahead. They were humanity's best hope, and they were ready to show the galaxy that Earth would not go down without a fight. The first battle in the war for Earth's survival was about to begin. The world held its breath as the alien ships entered Earth's orbit. They were massive, gleaming vessels that dwarfed anything humans had ever built. People everywhere stared at their screens in awe and terror, watching live footage of the otherworldly armada. In the hidden mountain base, the secret team sprung into action. General Thompson barked orders as soldiers and scientists rushed to their stations. Dr. Patel and her team monitored the alien ships, gathering as much data as they could. "They're not attacking," Dr. Patel said, her voice filled with surprise. "They seem to be waiting." Suddenly, a message came through on all communication channels worldwide. The aliens were trying to make contact. President Chen, surrounded by her advisors, took a deep breath and responded. "This is the leader of Earth. We come in peace and wish to talk." To everyone's shock, a reply came in perfect English. "We are the Galactic Empire. Your planet is now under our control. Surrender peacefully, and you will be treated fairly." President Chen's eyes narrowed. She looked at General Thompson, who nodded grimly. It was time to reveal their trump card. "We respectfully decline," President Chen replied. "Earth is our home, and we will defend it." With those words, humanity showed its hand. Hidden bases around the world activated advanced defense systems. Satellites that had seemed ordinary suddenly transformed, revealing powerful weapons. And from secret hangars emerged sleek spacecraft, products of reverse-engineered alien technology from the warning message. The aliens were caught off guard. They had expected an easy conquest, not a prepared opponent. Their first attacks were met with a fierce defense that shocked them. In space, Major John Rivera led a squadron of Earth's new fighters. "All right, team, remember your training," he said as they engaged the alien ships. To everyone's amazement, the human craft held their own, their advanced tech allowing them to match the aliens' maneuvers. On the ground, cities activated energy shields, deflecting the Empire's initial bombardment. People cheered as they realized they weren't as helpless as they had feared. Back in the mountain base, David Lee worked furiously at his computer. "I'm into their systems," he announced. "They didn't expect us to be able to hack them. I'm feeding false information to their ships." The battle raged for hours. The Empire, still reeling from the unexpected resistance, struggled to gain an advantage. Human forces, while outnumbered, fought with a fierce determination that surprised their attackers. As the first day of combat drew to a close, the Empire pulled back to regroup. In the mountain base, tired but hopeful faces looked at the battle reports. "We've held them off," General Thompson said, a note of pride in his voice. "But this is just the beginning." Dr. Patel nodded. "We've surprised them, but they'll adapt. We need to press our advantage while we can." President Chen, joining via secure video link, agreed. "Prepare our next move. We need to show them that humanity is not to be underestimated." As Earth's defenders planned their next steps, the Empire's leaders were in turmoil. Admiral Zax, the invasion's commander, faced the holographic image of the Emperor with dread. "Explain this failure," the Emperor growled. Admiral Zax bowed low. "My Emperor, these humans, they are not the primitives we thought them to be. They have technology that rivals our own, and they fight with a ferocity I have never seen." The Emperor's eyes narrowed. "I do not accept excuses. Admiral, crush this resistance, or I will find someone who can." As the hologram faded, Admiral Zax turned to his lieutenants. "Prepare all forces," he ordered. "We will show these humans the true might of the Empire." On Earth, as dawn broke on the second day of the war, both sides prepared for the battles to come. Humanity had survived its first encounter with the Galactic Empire, but the real test was just beginning. The fate of Earth hung in the balance, and every person on the planet knew that the coming days would determine the future of their species. The war for Earth had begun, and the galaxy watched in amazement as the tiny blue planet stood defiant against the mighty Empire. The sky turned red as the Empire launched its full-scale attack on Earth. Thousands of ships descended, their weapons blazing. Cities around the world activated their shields, the air shimmering as energy barriers deflected the alien assault. In New York, Sarah Chen, A young nurse ran through the crowded streets. "This way," she shouted, guiding people to underground shelters. Above, human fighters clashed with alien ships, explosions lighting up the sky. Meanwhile, in London, Dr. James Wilson worked frantically in his lab. "We've almost cracked their armor technology," he muttered, studying alien materials recovered from earlier skirmishes. His team worked day and night, hoping to give Earth's defenders an edge. At sea, the U.S. Freedom, a next-gen aircraft carrier, faced off against a massive Empire warship. Captain Lisa Rodriguez gritted her teeth as she ordered, "Fire the pulse cannons." The ship shuddered as beams of energy shot out, striking the alien vessel. To everyone's amazement, the Empire ship's shields flickered and failed. "It worked," shouted the weapons officer. The crew cheered as the alien ship, now vulnerable, retreated from the battle. In orbit, Major John Rivera led his squadron against waves of Empire fighters. "Stay in formation," he commanded as they weaved through the chaos. Human ingenuity shone as their ships, smaller but more agile, outmaneuvered the alien craft. Back at the mountain base, David Lee made a breakthrough. "I've accessed their battle network," he announced, his fingers flying over the keyboard. "We can see their entire attack plan." General Thompson leaned in, studying the holographic display. "They're trying to take out our major defense centers," he realized. "We need to reinforce those areas immediately." As the battle raged on, humanity's united front began to push back the invaders. In India, a group of engineers repurposed old satellites into a makeshift defense grid, surprising Empire ships with unexpected attacks from orbit. In Brazil, local militia used guerrilla tactics to ambush alien ground forces, using the dense jungle to their advantage. The Empire soldiers, unused to such terrain, found themselves outmatched by the determined defenders. Admiral Zax watched the battle unfold from his command ship, his alien features twisted in frustration. "How is this possible?" he growled. "They're mere humans." His second-in-command, a tall, spindly alien named Vex, spoke up. "Sir, we've underestimated them. Their adaptability is unprecedented." Zax slammed his fist on the control panel. "I will not be defeated by primitives. Prepare the Worldbreaker." On Earth, Dr. Paddle detected a massive energy buildup in the Empire fleet. "Something's coming," she warned. "Something big." As if on cue, a colossal ship emerged from hyperspace. It dwarfed even the largest Empire vessels, its hull bristling with weapons. This was the Worldbreaker, the Empire's ultimate tool of destruction. President Chen's face paled as she saw the images. "What is that thing?" General Thompson's voice was grim. "That, Madam President, could be the end of us all." But even as fear gripped the hearts of Earth's defenders, a spark of hope emerged. David Lee, still connected to the Empire's systems, made a startling discovery. "The Worldbreaker," he said, his voice filled with excitement. "It's powerful, but it has a weakness. Its main weapon draws power from its entire system. If we can overload it..." Dr. Patil finished his thought. "We could take out their greatest weapon and a large part of their fleet in one blow." A plan quickly formed. It would be risky, requiring perfect timing and coordination, but it was Earth's best chance. As the Worldbreaker prepared to fire, a small team of elite pilots, led by Major Rivera, embarked on a daring mission. They would need to get close to the massive ship, avoid its defenses, and deliver a specially designed computer virus directly into its systems. The fate of Earth hung in the balance. As the Worldbreaker's weapon began to glow with terrifying energy, Rivera and his team shot towards it, carrying with them the hopes of every human on the planet. The Empire had struck with all its might, but humanity was not done fighting. The next few moments would determine whether Earth would fall or rise victorious against the galactic invaders. Major John Rivera's heart raced as he piloted his fighter towards the massive Worldbreaker. His small team followed close behind, their ships darting between laser blasts and debris. "Remember the plan," he said over the comm. We only get one shot at this." As they approached the giant ship, its weapon glowed brighter, ready to unleash destruction on Earth. Suddenly, alarms blared in Rivera's cockpit. "They've spotted us," yelled his wingman, Sarah. Rivera gritted his teeth. "Evasive maneuvers. We have to reach that access point." Back on Earth, in the hidden mountain base, David Lee watched the mission unfold on his screens. His hand shook as he prepared to transmit the virus. Everything depended on the team reaching their target. Dr. Paddle stood beside him, her face tense. "They're almost there," she whispered. In space, Rivera's team fought their way closer to the Worldbreaker. Two of their ships were hit, spiraling away in flames. Rivera felt a pang of loss but pushed on. They couldn't fail now. Finally, they'd reached the access point. "We're in position," Rivera shouted. On Earth, David sprang into action. Sending the virus now. His fingers flew over the keyboard, launching the complex code they had worked so hard to create. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the Worldbreaker's lights flickered. Its massive weapon sputtered and died. Explosions rippled across its surface as systems overloaded. Admiral Zax watched in horror as his ultimate weapon fell apart. "Impossible," he roared. The Worldbreaker's destruction sent a shockwave through space, damaging nearby Empire ships. Earth's defenders cheered as they saw the enemy fleet in disarray. President Chen's voice came over the global comm system. "People of Earth, we have struck a mighty blow against the invaders. But our fight is not over. Now is the time to push back." All around the world, humanity launched its counterattack. In the skies over Tokyo, a swarm of small, agile drones overwhelmed Empire fighters. In the streets of Cairo, civilians used makeshift weapons alongside soldiers, driving back alien ground forces. At sea, Captain Rodriguez led a fleet of ships armed with reverse-engineered alien tech. They engaged the Empire's naval forces, their advanced weapons tearing through enemy defenses. Dr. Wilson's team in London had a breakthrough. "We've cracked their armor," he announced excitedly. Soon, Earth's forces were equipped with weapons capable of penetrating Empire defenses easily. In orbit, the tide of battle turned. Human ships, once outgunned, now fought on equal footing with the aliens. Major Rivera, having survived his mission, led a bold attack on the Empire's command ships. Admiral Zax felt fear for the first time as he saw his fleet crumbling. "Retreat," he ordered. "We must regroup." As Empire ships fled Earth's orbit, humanity celebrated its first major victory. But in the mountain base, General Thompson remained cautious. "This isn't over," he warned. "They'll be back, and in greater numbers." President Chen nodded grimly. "Then we need to take the fight to them." "Dr. Patel, what have we learned from the alien tech?" Dr. Patel's eyes gleamed with excitement. "We've made incredible progress. We can now build ships capable of interstellar travel. We can take the war to the Empire's doorstep." A daring plan formed. Earth would send a small, elite force to infiltrate Empire space. Their mission: to gather intelligence, disrupt enemy operations, and find a way to end the war. Major Rivera, still catching his breath from the space battle, volunteered immediately. "I'll lead the mission," he said. As preparations began for humanity's first journey beyond the solar system, a sense of hope spread across Earth. They had faced the galaxy's greatest power and held their ground. Now, they would show the Empire that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. In his quarters, Rivera looked at a photo of Earth taken from space. "We'll be back," he promised. "And when we return, we'll bring peace." As the sun set on a battered but unbroken Earth, humanity stood on the brink of a new era. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned. The counterattack had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same. The starship Hope glided silently through the darkness of space, its advanced cloaking technology hiding it from Empire sensors. Inside, Major John Rivera, and his team of elite soldiers and scientists prepared for their most daring mission yet. "We're approaching the Empire's main fleet," whispered Sarah, Rivera's second-in-command. "Are you sure about this, John?" Rivera nodded, his face set with determination. "It's now or never. We have to end this war." Back on Earth, President Chen paced nervously in the war room. "Any word from the Hope?" she asked. General Thompson shook his head. "Nothing yet, but no news is good news in this case." Meanwhile, Dr. Patel and her team worked tirelessly on Earth's defenses. They had made incredible progress, turning captured alien tech into powerful weapons and shields. Cities around the world now bristled with advanced defense systems, ready for the Empire's return. In space, the Hope maneuvered closer to the massive Empire command ship. Rivera's team prepared for their infiltration. They wore specially designed suits that mimicked Empire technology, allowing them to move undetected. "Remember," Rivera said to his team, "our goal is to plant the virus in their main computer and get out. No heroics." With a silent hiss, the airlock opened and the team floated towards the Empire ship. Using their suit's advanced tech, they bypassed security and entered the giant vessel. Inside the ship, the team moved swiftly through dimly lit corridors. Alien crew members walked past, unaware of the intruders in their midst. Rivera's heart pounded as they neared the main computer room. Suddenly, alarms blared. "We've been detected," shouted Sarah. "Move, move," Rivera ordered. The team sprinted towards their goal, alien guards hot on their heels. They burst into the computer room, quickly overpowering the surprised technicians. As Sarah and the others held off the approaching guards, Rivera rushed to the main console. With shaking hands, he inserted the data chip containing the virus. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the ship's lights flickered, and a low rumble shook the floor. "It's working," Rivera yelled. "Let's get out of here." The team fought their way back to their entry point, using their advanced weapons to hold off the Empire forces. They reached the airlock just as explosions began to rock the ship. As they sped away in the Hope, they watched the Empire command ship break apart, its destruction sending a shockwave through the enemy fleet. Admiral Zax, watching from a nearby ship, roared in fury. How have they done this?" On Earth, cheers erupted in the war room as they received news of the mission's success. President Chen's eyes shone with tears of joy. "They did it," she whispered. "They really did it." The destruction of the command ship threw the Empire forces into chaos. Without central leadership, their attack plans fell apart. Earth's defenders seized the opportunity, launching a coordinated assault that caught the aliens off guard. In orbit, human ships engaged the disorganized Empire fleet. Captain Rodriguez, leading the space battle, shouted orders as her ships tore through enemy defenses. "Push them back," she cried. "Don't let up." On the ground, resistance forces in occupied areas rose up, aided by the confusion in the Empire ranks. In New York, Sarah Chen led a group of civilians in overthrowing their alien overlords. Similar scenes played out in cities around the world. As the battle raged, Dr. Wilson made another breakthrough. "We can use their own communication network against them," he realized. Quickly, he and his team flooded Empire channels with false orders and misinformation, further disrupting their forces. The tide of the war had turned. Empire ships, once seemingly invincible, now fell to Earth's advanced weapons. Those that could began to retreat, fleeing the solar system they had sought to conquer. As the last Empire ship disappeared from Earth's sensors, a stunned silence fell over the planet. Then, slowly, cheers began to rise. From every corner of the globe, humans celebrated their improbable victory. In the war room, General Thompson turned to President Chen. "Ma'am," he said, his voice filled with awe, "I think we just won." Chen nodded, a smile spreading across her face. "No, General. We all won. Humanity won." As news of the victory spread, people emerged from shelters, hugging and crying with joy. The war had been costly, but Earth had survived. More than that, it had shown the galaxy that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. The Empire had been defeated, and a new chapter in human history was about to begin. News of the Empire's defeat spread across the galaxy like wildfire. On countless worlds, alien species watched in awe as reports came in of the tiny blue planet that had stood up to the mightiest force in known space. On Zargan, a planet of traders and information brokers, the streets buzzed with excited chatter. "Did you hear?" a tentacled alien asked its neighbor. "The humans beat the Empire." In the Galactic Council chambers, representatives from 100 worlds gathered in emergency session. The massive hall was filled with a cacophony of voices and translators. "This changes everything," rumbled Krog, the rock-like delegate from Petra. "The balance of power has shifted." Meanwhile, deep in Empire territory, Emperor Zax raged in his palace. Holograms of his defeated fleet played before him, showing Earth's unlikely victory again and again. "Impossible," he roared, smashing a nearby console. "How could mere humans defeat us?" His advisors cowered before him. One brave soul, General Vex, stepped forward. "My Emperor, perhaps we should reconsider our expansion policies. These humans have proven to be formidable." He never finished his sentence. With a wave of the Emperor's hand, Vex disintegrated into ash. "We will crush these humans," Zax snarled. "Prepare our reserve fleets." Back on Earth, the initial euphoria of victory was giving way to cautious optimism. In the rebuilt United Nations building in Geneva, world leaders gathered to discuss humanity's next steps. President Chen addressed the assembly. "We've won a great victory, but our work is not done. We must prepare for the Empire's return and for our new role in the galaxy." Dr. Patel presented her latest findings. "Using the technology we've acquired, we can now reach distant stars. The galaxy is open to us." As humans looked to the stars with new eyes, other species looked back with interest and trepidation. On Proxima Centauri, the closest potentially habitable planet to Earth, the native Proximans debated making contact. "These humans defeated the Empire," argued one Proximan leader. "They could be powerful allies or dangerous enemies." In a distant arm of the galaxy, a race of peaceful scholars known as the Arcturians watched Earth with growing fascination. "Such resilience," mused their high thinker. "Perhaps it's time we shared our knowledge with them." Not all reactions were positive. On Draconis Prime, the warlike Draconians saw humans as a new threat to their own expansionist plans. "We must strike before they grow too powerful," their war queen declared. As alien races debated and planned, humanity pushed forward. The first human colony ships left Earth, heading for nearby star systems. Major Rivera, now Admiral Rivera, led the expedition. As his ship prepared to jump to light speed, Rivera looked back at Earth one last time. "We go to the stars not as conquerors," he said to his crew, "but as explorers and peacekeepers." On Earth, cities were rebuilt with new alien-inspired architecture reaching towards the sky. Schools taught children about alien cultures and distant worlds. The global economy boomed as new technologies created industries that had never before existed. But amid the progress, warnings echoed. General Thompson, addressing a group of cadets at the new Space Defense Academy, reminded them of the challenges ahead. "The Empire may be down, but it's not out. We must remain vigilant." In hidden labs around the world, scientists worked tirelessly to unlock more secrets of alien technology. Dr. Wilson, leading a team in Antarctica, made a startling discovery. "This could revolutionize our understanding of the universe," he breathed, staring at his findings in awe. As Earth prepared for its new role in the galaxy, the planet itself seemed to pulse with energy and possibility. Humans looked up at the night sky with new eyes, seeing not just stars, but future homes and adventures. In orbit, the massive space station, Unity, neared completion. It would serve as Earth's first diplomatic outpost, a place where humans and aliens could meet on equal ground. As the first alien ambassadors prepared to dock at Unity, President Chen stood in the station's observation deck. Looking down at the blue marble of Earth, she smiled. "We're not alone anymore," she said softly. "And we're ready for whatever comes next." The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see what these surprising humans would do next. The age of Earth's isolation was over. A new era of galactic politics, exploration, and potential conflict had begun. 5 years had passed since Earth's victory over the Galactic Empire. The planet had changed in ways no one could have imagined. Gleaming spaceports dotted the landscape, with ships constantly coming and going. In the streets, humans walked alongside alien visitors from a dozen worlds. At the New York spaceport, Sarah Chen, now a diplomat, prepared to board a ship bound for the Arcturus system. "I never thought I'd be an ambassador to an alien race," she mused, looking at her reflection in the ship's shiny hull. Meanwhile, in the Kuiper Belt, Admiral John Rivera oversaw Earth's new defense network. Massive space stations and automated defense platforms formed a protective shield around the solar system. "Status report," Rivera called out, standing on the bridge of his flagship. "All systems normal, sir," replied his AI assistant. No sign of Empire activity in the sector. Back on Earth, Dr. Aisha Patel stood before a crowd of eager students at the newly established Galactic University. "Today, we'll discuss the implications of faster-than-light travel on Einstein's theory of relativity," she began, her eyes sparkling with excitement. In orbit, the space station Unity had become a hub of interstellar diplomacy. Aliens of all shapes and sizes moved through its corridors, discussing trade deals, cultural exchanges, and scientific cooperation. President Emily Chen, now in her second term, addressed the United Earth Council from Unity's Grand Chamber. "We've come so far in such a short time," she said, her voice carrying to every corner of the planet via holographic projection. "But we must not forget the challenges that lie ahead." Those challenges were many. Despite their defeat, the Empire remained a threat. Reports of their ships massing at the edge of known space kept Earth's leaders on edge. In a secret facility deep beneath the Himalayas, General Thompson briefed a team of elite soldiers. "Intelligence suggests the Empire is planning something big," he said grimly. "We need to be ready." But it wasn't just the Empire that posed a threat. Earth's rapid rise to galactic prominence had made some alien races nervous. The warlike Draconians, in particular, viewed humanity's expansion with growing alarm. On the Draconian homeworld, War Queen Zira addressed her generals. "These humans grow too powerful," she hissed. "We must strike before it's too late." Not all aliens were hostile, however. The peaceful Arcturians had become close allies, sharing their advanced knowledge with Earth. In a joint human-Arcturian research facility on Mars, scientists made breakthrough after breakthrough. Dr. James Wilson, leading the Mars team, couldn't contain his excitement as he examined the latest test results. "This new energy source could power our cities for centuries," he exclaimed. As humanity reached for the stars, they also looked to preserve their home. Advanced alien technology had helped reverse much of Earth's environmental damage. Once polluted cities now gleamed with clean energy and lush green spaces. In the Amazon, now a protected global treasure, Sarah Chen's brother Michael led a team of eco-engineers. "We're not just saving Earth," he told a group of visiting alien scientists. "We're creating a model for sustainable development across the galaxy." But amid the progress and excitement, some worried that humanity was losing touch with its roots. In a small town in rural Japan, an old farmer named Hiroshi tended his rice fields as his ancestors had for generations. "The stars are all well and good," he told his granddaughter as they worked together. "But never forget the soil beneath your feet." As the sun set on another day in this new era, people around the world paused to reflect. In 5 short years, they had gone from a species confined to one planet to a major player on the galactic stage. Families gathered to watch the news, marveling at images of human colonies on distant worlds. Children played with toys of alien creatures, dreaming of the day they might visit strange new planets. In her office atop the Unity station, President Chen looked out at the star-filled void. A communication alert blinked on her desk. Another message from a newly discovered alien race, seeking contact. Chen smiled as she prepared to respond. The future was uncertain, filled with both promise and peril. But one thing was clear: humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. As night fell on Earth, its cities glowing with the light of 1,000,000,000,000 stars, the planet seemed to pulse with energy and possibility. The human race, once alone in the cosmos, had taken its place among the stars. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, as citizens not just of Earth, but of the galaxy itself. The new era had dawned, and the universe would never be the same.